so let's see what the knockout stages look like. Some great matches lined up. All right. This is fun. Belgium versus Germany. So this is the problem with such competitions, right? You like pitch some really strong people against each other really early on, and you end up losing on the favorites sooner than you would like. All right, so let's go one by one. Belgium, Germany.
Based on the performances and the squad makeup, I would say Belgium makes it. Obviously, this is
I
knockout,
would
so
agree.
anything can happen on the day. But I would,
So,
since we are doing the whole thing with the whole on-paper thing, I think Belgium
yeah,
should be able to take care of a Germany side.
yeah, I agree. Italy, Ukraine.
I think I would have to favor Italy in this one as well.
Yeah, I think there is no conversation to be
Yeah, I
had
mean,
here.
on paper,
On
discussion
paper.
regarding these matches so far has been relatively easy. France.
Yeah, yeah. Again, like one injury, one red card, anything can change the game.
Yeah,
One bad
anything,
day.
anything.
Croatia, Sweden.
Now, this is an interesting one because Croatia are not the same team that they were 3 years ago. They were
Yeah,
they were finalists in the World Cup, but they are still quite reliant on Luka Modric to perform in the middle. It's still a one-man show to a greater degree. They have players that play in the upper echelons of European football, but Sweden have a better makeup when you distribute the players across the pitch. But I'm quite torn between these two. There's a very good chance Sweden takes this.
but they also have Lindelof, who
I
can.
mean, thing with Lindelof is if you pair him up with a player that complements his style of play, he's still going to perform better. And if you, I think Croatia are going to go with Dejan Lovren, so it will be the battle of between the two. If you want to say which one is the worst defender, and I think when it comes to passion regarding the national sides, they both come through. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Sweden. Why not? Just to have something different. I think Croatia have had their fun. I'm going to go with Sweden.
All right. Spain, Netherlands. That's another good one.
It is a good one. It is because this is where both teams are going to have an interesting time. Because why I say Spain are going to have a hard time in knockouts because they have Luis Enrique has decided to pick up very interesting side. He had choice to pick 26 players. He has gone with 24. Sergio Busquets is now contacted COVID-19, so the whole team is in isolation. I think if I'm not wrong, they were going to play Lithuania, and now their under 21 side is going to play Lithuania, who just ended their Euro under 21 campaign. So things are going slightly awry there, and they haven't. I think for the first time in also many years, they don't have a Real Madrid player as well. So
Yeah.
Spain have chosen a side interesting enough that knockouts will pose them a threat. And as much as I've slacked Netherlands off, I think their makeup of their squad is not bad at all. And if anything, I'm like completely extrapolating from this point on, given that Spain do have issues in their squad if the whole COVID situation persists. Otherwise, they're gonna have a hard time. So just for the sake of doing something completely different and giving Netherlands bit of credit, I'm gonna say that Netherlands take this on the day. They eke this out. It's one of those predictions where I think immediately once I've said it, I think it might be very wrong. So all of this can be wrong, but these are the ones. This is the
Yeah.
one in particular that I think. But I'm still gonna go with Netherlands because why not?
Absolutely. Why not? Okay. England, Portugal.
This is like the best one for the night.
Yeah.
Okay. Portugal do have the Cristiano factor. Their attacking players are absolutely fantastic if they come in form. Their defense is the kind that is not. They have Ruben Dias, so their defense is not particularly old. Otherwise, I was thinking of Jose Fonts and Pep. Okay, so I think their defense should be good enough to take care of England. If you were to take England's international recent friendlies that they have against Romania and Austria, it's not particularly exciting. They did win, but they won
Not looking good.
comprehensive
Yeah.
victories. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I think they can be taken care of in the knockouts. As much as it's the home match and everything, I'm gonna slide with Portugal on this one.
And they missed a penalty, right?
Yeah, Jordan Henderson missed a penalty, so I don't think he'll be taking one again if he
Yeah.
gets to play again. But there are a lot of question marks. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that injury angle also is quite an interesting one with England, that they are persisting with continuing Harry Maguire and Jordan Henderson's presence in the side. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think from where I'm sitting right now, I think I would go with Portugal.
Looks to be that way as well. And England, like I was saying in our previous discussion, England is full of individually brilliant players, but I don't know what happens to them when they play together. Something
There's a
goes
lot to
wrong.
like. There's a lot to like regarding their current makeup. I mean, even if you take it off the field, I mean, the whole stance that they are taking with taking the knee and the whole fight against racism that they have to contend with, even with when their fans are booing them in the process, not even trying to understand what it all entails. So there is a lot good going on there that has not existed in the past 10, 15 years. A lot of which had become toxic when you think about the big players that were playing in among themselves, and the club rivalries were taking into were becoming too much of a problem for them to be able to play together. All of that, Gareth Southgate has done a decent job in bringing this squad together. But knockout stages are one of those things where every little subtle detail that you can take care of needs to be taken care of, and that's where I feel Portugal might be able to edge them on the day.
Okay. Austria, Scotland.
Austria have a much more coherent squad. They were able to threaten England in another match on another day. They might have been able to do something about it. I like the way that they were pressing. I like the way they moved the ball around. Scotland do have a lot of heart, but I think Austria should be able to see this one through.
All right. So this one seems like a battle of the underdogs.
Yeah.
What are you
I mean,
thinking?
this is the Anshuman Joshi derby, because I put these guys ahead and now they are ending up together. Okay. I'm going to go with Denmark with a very heavy heart, because I like how Turkey have played. I like most of the players that they are going through with. But I'm going to put Denmark here.
Okay. Some really exciting quarterfinals coming up. Okay. Belgium, Italy.
All right. Now this is going to be an interesting one. I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with Italy. I think it's a hard shout. I'm going with Italy. It's a hard shout because of, when you look at the individualism of Belgium players. I mean, we don't. I think Kevin De Bruyne might miss out on the Euros, but they still have a lot of decent players. You look at the Hazard brothers. You look at the form Lukaku is in. But I'm not particularly convinced by their defense. And I think Italy are going to play a lot more compact game, and I think they are going to have one of those tight professional performances that you require in a team. And when I look at the favorites for every tournament, I always look at the squad, because even when you look at the World Cups that the team wins, Germany had a squad, France had a squad. Individualism hardly there are moments of individualism, but every time when I look back at the teams, I always think how there was a good squad that where individual players might not be good in themselves, but they are able to come together to create a squad that wins a particular tournament. I think Italy should be able to. Italy players with Italy are coming in the kind of form, a stable form that really takes you through to the distance fast stages of a tournament. So I'm going to slide with Italy slightly, very so slightly, but Italy.
That's enough. Just a small 1-0 victory will do.
Yeah, something like that.
France, Sweden.
Yeah, I mean, it's very hard for me to go against France in any match.
Yeah.
So, on paper, you have to go with France.
Yeah. Okay, this is a good one. Netherlands, Portugal.
I think Portugal takes this. I think Netherlands have had a fun ride so far, but it's time for them their deficiencies to show and Portugal to shine. So I think they'll take this.
Okay. Austria, Denmark.
Austria, Denmark. Okay. I think I'll again go with Denmark. Denmark might as well go out in the group stages, but the way this is panning out, I have quite a good feeling about Denmark.
All right.
Now the first semi-final is one where I really can't bifurcate. Okay, there is quite a good stuff.
I mean, since we're doing, sorry, were you going to go with?
No, go on.
No, I was going to say, we've been doing the on paper conversation till now, and on paper it has to be France. You look at the squads. I don't think Italy can match up to France's squad on paper. But like we've been saying throughout this conversation,
Yeah, I mean,
anything
France
can
is one of
happen.
those
But
sides where attack is stacked, their midfield is stacked, their defense is stacked. I mean, it's hard when you're taking a spot to spot comparison. I think as good as I've said that Italy are, I think France will trump them on paper at least. I mean, on the day it can be a completely different thing. Of course, it can, but yeah, we have to prepare France in this one.
all right, Portugal, Denmark.
I will go with Portugal. I have to. I've brought them so far. Portugal takes it.
Portugal takes it. So it's kind of like a final we predicted during the previous video. So I'm guessing.
And also, it's funny how the narrative has played out in a prediction episode where we have not really gone too deep, because this is exactly the replay of the last time these two teams played.
Exactly.
So this is very interesting.
It's quite interesting how it panned out. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
so France for the win, or are Portugal gonna surprise us?
I mean, even last time when Portugal played, they had to take up a goal in extra time from a player we have not heard from since. So, as deserved as their victory was, I think France will be a lot more fired up if it comes to this. I think France are going to be sufficiently fired up to see off Portugal the same way they did Croatia in the World Cup. Won't be that easy, but I think France are taking this because we have talked about France being the overwhelming favorites. It's very hard for us to, on paper, to not look at them and think that they are not going to win this.
All right, so guys, there you go. Anshuman is saying that France are going to win this Euro competition, so no need to watch it. These results are final, and this is exactly what's going to happen.
And when eventually it all goes tits up and Denmark wins the tournament, then you can just come onto our channel and just slag us off.
Or you can watch the previous video where he predicted Denmark to be the underdog. So it's a win-win.
I've brought them as far as semi-finals. I'll take that.
Yeah. All right. So we'll see you again for the next video where we do a quick roundup of the games. And it's still 2 days to go for the Euros. So let's see how Anshuman's predictions actually work out. Thank you guys for tuning in. See you next time.